Alright, we're up to part 3. Part 3 is going to be about the gear around camp. Basically my sleeping gear and I guess my whatever I had around camp, and what I'm going to take next time I go and what I'm going to cull. So in part 1 and 2 we had a bit about the food and the cooking that I used and my pack in that part 1, what I used as packs and how I carried my bow, that sort of thing. And then part 2 we had just clothing and how I was going to cull that a bit. And now in part 3 we've got sleeping. So this is my sleeping mat. Now it is a Cedar Summit Comfort Plus SI. It's a large because I'm quite long. It was long enough. It fit me. I'm 6'4.5" and it fit me. So quite a heavy fellow. I'm probably 100 kilos. And so it was great. I'm a side sleeper and it was fantastic. So I put it in a dry bag and a compressible dry bag there. It's actually not a dry bag, I shouldn't say that. It's just a compression bag. I had it in a dry bag. Now that dry bag was this one. So just a one-off again off wish.com. Like you can get the app for Wish and buy this kind of stuff. $2 I think that cost me. Nothing for delivery, and it seals it. It is waterproof. It's not like your nice Cedar Summit ones that cost $25, $30, but I'm not paying that. This works just as well, so I'd suggest that. Really good self-inflating. I actually did have to blow into this to inflate it that last little bit, but kept me warm from the ground. It's quite well rated to keep that cold out from coming up under the ground. My mate had a bit of trouble with that. I think his mattress deflated a little bit and he had that cold coming up through the ground. This didn't even feel the cold coming up through the ground. Pillow, thermarest. I think I spoke about that in the lead up. Definitely taking that. I had it in this little 2-litre dry bag, so I'd be doing that again. Sleeping bag, here we go. Alright, let's get down to it. So I had the inflating mattress. This sleeping bag is a Kathmandu, and I'll get it up close. I have showed you this in the previous video that I did before I went. Now, we got down to, we were back in behind Omeo area in Victoria there, and it got down to, it had to be -8. It was ridiculously cold. Yeah, it was definitely right down there. I mean, we're waking up and walking across ice in the, actually walking across a little puddle of ice that didn't crack. Crazy. So anyway, being a Queenslander, I did struggle. My mate was from Canberra, Josh was from Canberra, and he probably handled it a little better than me, but we both struggled to sleep properly. This wasn't good enough. Comfort range is 3 degrees, transition is -3, and then risk range is -19. Now, it wasn't good enough. I actually got it a little bit wet because I'll talk about my tent a little bit later. I had a lot of condensation inside the tent, which didn't help. And I'm quite a long person, 6'4", like I said, and my feet were touching the ends of the tent. And it's down sleeping bag, and the condensation, because I was touching the inner fly, which had condensation all on it, it just came straight through into my toes basically, and then also up here on my head. This one has that good thing where you can just lock yourself totally in, which was great, but I don't like sleeping like that. The air was so cold. I mean, like I said, the water bottle froze inside the tent. next to me, and got these little Sawyer water filters. Mine was okay, but I think that's because I had it real close to me. But Josh's froze over, so he had to put it under his arm for 10 minutes to get the ice out of it, I guess. So not good enough. Need to get a really good sleeping bag if you're planning on going into weather like we went into. This one was comfort 3 degrees. It obviously just wasn't good enough. Get yourself a good one. It's ducked down 650. It was really light and packed down well, and I had it in a dry bag like the one I showed you, which was great. But yeah, it was any warmer. Like, I only just got through the night basically. It was 6 o'clock, like we lit up a fire straight away. I also had the Thermalite reactor Extreme, so from Sea to Summit. Give you that one a close up so you can grab one of these. They are brilliant, $60 something. My give you a bit of an idea, that was so the mattress was $240 or something. I bought it from Daz at Maruka 30. After him convincing me that I needed that good one, and it's really good. Great advice. He did also tell me this wasn't going to be enough, so I already had purchased it. Kathmandu Pegasus. It was $179 on special. If I'm going to do a trip like that again, that's just not going to work. I'm going to have to borrow someone's sleeping bag or get something else. But this definitely added to the heat. Apparently this adds 15 degrees of heat to you, so definitely good to get one of those. That's the Reactor Extreme, Thermalite Reactor Extreme by Sea to Summit. I had it in the regular size, and that was, if they had a large, I would have bought it. I don't know if they did. I kept it in that as well. Tent, old Macpac minaret. Now before I went, I seam sealed it in the inside. Didn't get any water in because it didn't rain. So I don't know how that went, but I think it sealed it quite well. I waterproofed the outer fly. Great. Obviously in the day, you know, we had extreme amount of just frost on the top of the outer fly. So I brushed off most of it on the first day, and we packed up camp and moved to another place. When I got there, this was totally wet. So I had to air it out, and luckily it was sunny enough and it dried. So, but then that night again, it got extreme amount of frost on it again, and ice. You know, you're going like this and it's like snow just going everywhere. Yeah, it did dry out again, so we left it there all day and dried out. It was pretty good. One thing I will add though is that I took this little towel, and it was a godsend. It just really light little sort of microfiber towel, and people might say, well, what are you taking that for? But it actually, I was able to wipe out any water inside my tent, which there was, and just little bits, but I was able to wipe it out, and rather than use a glove or something like that and just get that wet, there was really nothing else to wipe it out with. So, and that's dried super quick. It's a quick drying material. It's actually a campus type one. That's a really high quality one. Oh, there we go. It's called Norwex Backlock Soft Dry. Anyway, it was really good. Throw that over there. So the minaret, it's actually 10 years old, this one. I bought it second hand for $50. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it's just that you just can't get away from that condensation, but on the inside there was condensation everywhere on that inner fly. And Josh only had a minimal amount from where he was just breathing, but mine was just everywhere. So I got really cold feet because I was touching the end of my tent. I had it open, the airflow, it wasn't super tight. Josh's tent was super tight. I did have that gap between the inner fly and the outer fly, and then the gap at the bottom of the tent to let that air get in and get up and over. But we didn't have any wind, didn't have any breeze at night, so I think it was possibly, I'm hoping that it's not so much the oldness of this tent, but I waterproofed the outside with the spray. It seemed to bead up and run off when it started drying, so maybe that worked, but yeah, that was ridiculous. My head was touching the other end of the inner fly, and so it got cold as well as my toes. I had to end up putting 2 pairs of socks on. I had both sets of thermals on, every bit of clothing I had on. I was didn't like these cocoon type things, but I guess that's the way to keep your warmth in real close. Had it zip dried up. I was breathing out, and I really needed to just close the whole thing because it was that cold. I needed to do that to stay warm enough. So a bit freaky, a bit scary, but anyway. Oh, this is one thing that I would have took. I forgot to take game bags, and we ended up just having to put our meat that we got into. I just actually put it into one of these. We sacrificed one of these, put the meat in there, and carried it like that. But so game bag, definitely take one if you're planning on grabbing a bit of meat. These are just the tins from for my tent, and these are really good. Cedar Summit, they're on special at Tent World for $4. They're really light. I replaced them with the older style ones that the Minaret came with, which is these ones. I did take a couple of those, but these are really good because they've got that hook on there that you can hook the, your wires around after you get the thing in. You just hook it around there. So they were brilliant, really light. So good. This is Maruka 30 Stalker Fly, 2.6 by 3.5 metre. Came in a treat. That was awesome. Was brilliant. Be able to keep, that just the weather off our gear. So found that worked really well. So yeah, I'll be taking that again. That's actually a mate's, so hopefully he'll loan it to me again, or he'll probably be with me next time. So this is chair, little miniature chair. Now, my mate, I had 2 of them because they were $10 on eBay. One of those little chairs that fold up like that. So you just fold him up, and you might be saying, well, that's a bit of a luxury, but 900 grams, I'll be doing that again, because after a big day, and you're just going to stand by the fire? No, I'm not going to be standing by the fire. I'm going to be using this, sitting by the fire. Brilliant. I gave one to Josh. He's like, oh, alright, I'll take it. And he's like, I'm taking one of those next time. So he's got a couple of them. Easy. Guys, you can put it on the side of your pack. Fit in my pack that way. So that's the sleeping gear as such. I might actually just do a 4th section on the rest, which is, I might just give you this lighting. It's part of the tent setup, I guess, is that these little lights, these are so good. It's called a Lucy light, L-U-C-I. L-U-C-I, Lucy light. You can see how it's solar there. So you blow it up like that, and then you just, well, this one's flat, so you blow it up like that, but they give off so much light. wonder if this one's working. There you go. You can see how much light they give off there. That's on the first mode, second mode. You can also put it on flashing white, flashing red. Yeah, actually I wonder what that flashing red. Oh, here you go. That's an SOS. How good's that? I didn't realise that. That's awesome. So there you go. It's a safety mechanism as well. But I mean, I think it weighs 23 grams or something like that. So worth it. I took both of those, and Josh was like, "Yeah, that's great. I was going to get some of those." So yeah, brilliant. So that's it for the sleeping gear.